It is the Frank and Friends show. Hi there, I'm Frank Murphy.
Hi, I'm Becca James.
Becca James, the girl with two first names?
That's me.
Oh, thank you for being here.
I'm so happy to see you.
I'm so happy to see you too.
How was your Easter?
My Easter was terrific. I mean, my wife and I did Easter stuff, and I've got a great story to tell you about something that happened at church that you wouldn't believe.
Okay.
I also...
That's called a tease.
Want to say thank you to Kathryn Frady for continuing to help out while she's doing opera business down in Gulfshore, Florida, whatever that is called, Gulfshore Opera.
I mean, is it business or is she just enjoying the beach?
All right. So
no hate, I'm just jealous you're in Gulf Shores.
So maybe you saw her post on Easter Sunday where she took the day off and went to the beach, okay? But she's directing and covering Tosca for Gulfshore Opera.
Oh, wow.
And the performances are coming up, I think a week from now, next weekend. And anyway, but she's also still runs our website. So she's got to put in the new episodes and do stuff like that. So I appreciate Kathryn. And she also, puts the link to the Frank and Friends store where you go to frankandfriendsshow.com/merch and get, we have,
because you have to buy it online, because you have to buy everything online these days.
Well,
everything.
Yes, I would like to point out that I had to wash my Frank and Friends hoodie, and it came out just perfectly well. Look at that.
Oh,
I washed it
so
in
it washes well.
cold water, and then just to let it dry on the rack over there. But I was worried about the logo, and it came out just fine.
I'm impressed that you do your own laundry.
I didn't say I did my own laundry. I should have said. I had it washed, or my wife generously washed it for me.
Yes.
I took it out of the washing machine and put it on the drying rack. That was my contribution. It was like half, practically half.
Moving on. So did you know that you can only buy things online now?
Well, I mean, it's gotten to the point where I like batteries for the show. Yeah, it's much easier to get them online. And there was some other thing I was thinking about getting. Luden's cough drops. I thought, well, how do I...
Cough drops.
Well, I go through a lot of cough drops. And
what about your clothes? Do you buy your clothes online or do you still go into the store?
Most of my clothes have been purchased with Kohl's cash, so
I do know about the Kohl's cash. I do.
So I think I'd say that I probably, it's changing. It's you're right. I am now almost there because I needed some TV shirts for PBS, and trying to find you find one that you like and you find one that fits, right? Mm-hmm. So I buy it, and then I go to the other Kohl's. One in Farragut, to see if I can get the same maker, size, and everything else, but a different pattern, right?
Gas prices are too high to be doing that kind of drive.
Well, that is an excellent point. But then when I get there, they also only have the same exact shirt that I had at Dean Hill. So now I've wasted the trip because you're right. If I need this, I had this shirt in white that fit me well. I'm like, okay, well, I need to get that in yellow and I need to get it in blue.
All the colors.
Yeah, because that's how it works in TV. I bring 5 outfits and I'm running the back and I change, and I run in the back and I change.
You're also lucky that you can do that. Because as a woman, we have to have all the different styles and colors, and we can't just buy, I couldn't go and buy this shirt in, 5 different colors.
No, it already is 5 different colors. You could just put them the same shirt, but the color's in a different order.
So this is from New York & Company, which has been my favorite store for forever.
Okay.
And I was very sad when they closed the Knoxville stores, and they sent me these postcards. I was like, oh, your closest store now is Murfreesboro.
Murfreesboro?
Great. I'm going to drive 2 hours to go shopping now. I wouldn't not, but I'd have to have another reason to go.
Okay. All right.
But then, so I finally did this big online order because I have a professional job now, so I like to dress professionally.
Yes, congratulations, by the way, for getting out of the radio business.
Thank you. It's very different, but I'm enjoying working for Knoxville Area Transit as their marketing director. But yeah, so I had to order a bunch of business clothes, and then my husband and I was just like, well, where is the closest store now? And we started looking, and they just don't have stores. They only exist online now.
Oh, the New York & Company.
Yeah.
They closed even the Murfreesboro store.
Yeah, so they're just an online company now, and I think that's going to be the new trend, which on one hand, it is super convenient to sit on my couch at 9 o'clock at night and just start scrolling and putting a million things in my cart. However, I'm now at that point where I have a third of my order needs to go back, and the time it's going to take me to get all of that stuff gathered, to put it in a box, to go to the post office, to get them out, that's such a pain.
Well, I'll admit, I bought something from Amazon, and I forget what it was, or maybe Jerry bought it, and I had to return it.
But you can do that at Kohl's.
And Whole Foods. Whole Foods.
I did not know that one, but I never go to Whole Foods.
I went into Whole Foods. The mask mandate had been dropped, so I just go strolling into Whole Foods, right, with this box to return to Amazon. But all the Whole Foods employees, they're just looking at me over the top of their masks, like, how dare you come into our store?
You desecrated the store without your mask.
So they would not. They like stayed way back. They wouldn't talk to me. They just like put it on the counter and made me leave.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's we're in that really weird space now where we're still in a pandemic, but a good majority have been vaccinated, and then but we still have kids. Like, so for me, I'm comfortable not wearing a mask around you in certain situations, but like I went to Elton John a few weeks ago, and I'm sorry, I didn't trust that people who've been waiting 3 years for this concert, who might not feel good, would stay at home. So I wore like the KN95. Like, I didn't even just do cloth mask. I was like, no, I'm gonna wear the full mask. I need to be safe, because I also have small children at home who can't be vaccinated yet. So
whereas you couldn't pay me to go to an Elton John concert.
Oh, he was fantastic.
I'm sure he was great. It's just I've heard all the songs before.
But he spent half the show just jamming out with his band, who are some of the guys who he originally toured with starting in the 70s.
Oh, that's nice.
Like, they just jammed out, and it was, at one point, Elton John's fingers were going so fast on the piano, like I thought you were going to see like cartoon steam coming out of it. It was impressive.
Well, I'm glad to know that.
Yeah, it was an incredible concert.
Now, you had bought those tickets back in your radio days.
So here's the timeline of events. In 2019, I bought the tickets pre-sale. 2020 COVID hits, gets postponed. 2021, they finally are making the big announcement for when it's going to be rescheduled, and it's in 2022. And, and I know this is morbid, but I know myself and many other concert goers were just like, please don't die in the meantime.
Right, you're doing the math, trying to figure out how old is Elton John going to be.
He's 75.
Yeah.
And he made all of us cry at the end because he did a farewell speech saying that, he's 75, he's been doing it for a long time, he deserves his time with his kid, and this is really the end. And I'm getting a little misty-eyed thinking about it, because I'm just like, how do you just stop?
Elton.
Yeah, so I mean, he's just one of the, it will always be an icon.
Yeah.
So it was an incredible show. He made us all cry.
I feel bad for my neighbor Nancy, who bought tickets, or so she thought. The resale tickets through Ticketmaster, and they never came. And they told her, when she tried to file a fraud claim, they said, well, we have to find out who sold you the tickets. And of course, it comes back from the credit card company that Ticketmaster sold her the tickets, but I don't know what to do. I don't know what she could do about it.
So she bought it from a legit source, and
she thought she did. I mean, she bought what she thought was authorized resale tickets, but they never materialized.
Oh.
Yeah.
I feel really bad for her.
So now she's going to go to South Carolina, I think, and catch another Elton John, or North Carolina, one of the Carolinas.
Yeah, he still has plenty more shows. He's playing for the rest of this year.
Yeah.
So.
And then he's going to do more shows after. I think he figured it out. He added like 3 concerts in North America, because this is one thing I do respect about the man. He rounded off his lifetime number of North America performances to an even number. So like he was, whatever it was, he added 3 shows so that he would finish at 3,000 shows in North America, and then he wrap the tour in Europe or Australia or somewhere, wherever he lives. So
England.
No, I think doesn't he live in Australia?
Does he?
Yeah.
I thought he lived in England.
Well, he lives everywhere.
I mean, he's
British, Elton John. So he can live anywhere and everywhere.
He probably has multiple houses. Let's
probably
be real.
Does. Yeah.
So maybe he'll spend some time there, and he'll go there for the winter, or is it summer there? I don't know. It's weird.
It's always the opposite of what we are. So if it's spring here, it's fall down there.
Well, then that's a good plan, especially if you're like me and you don't like the cold.
To have a house in each hemisphere?
Yeah.
So you can just always have summer.
So I need to become Elton John rich. I don't think my lottery ticket paid off this past weekend. I still haven't checked it.
Are you going to get overtime for working the Dogwood Arts Festival? How's that going?
It doesn't work that way. But now that you mention it, I am very excited about the Dogwood Arts Festival. And for the first time in, I feel like, a year, we're actually supposed to have a really nice weekend for it.
Oh, yeah.
Like good temperatures,
like
clear.
80 degrees, right? It's going to be hot.
That's not hot.
Well, all right.
That's
I mean,
not hot.
I
mean, and think about it.
I was going to check the weather like it matters.
It'll hit 80 degrees.
I immediately go to grab the weather and say, I'm ready for a weather argument.
I feel like this is like a married couple conversation, because my husband and I have these moments.
No, I like warm weather, but I'm saying is that when you're working, that 80 degrees is going to feel hotter.
But it's only going to hit 80 for what, an hour? Like realistically, it'll be in the 70s most of the day.
All right,
so that'll be very pleasant.
Good. And what are you going to be doing?
So Knoxville Area Transit is going to have
Most people call it KAT or CAT.
CAT.
All right.
Sorry, CAT. we are going to have a giant bus booth, but it's going to be decorated. One of our employees hand crochets a million things, but she is making all of these beautiful dogwood flowers, and we're using yarn that's been made from recycled plastic, so it's going to be a big focus on sustainability because Friday is also Earth Day, and we have new all-electric buses. So
tomorrow's Earth Day. I didn't get a card. I didn't make any plans. I didn't buy you anything. I got nothing. I'm not prepared
You
for
didn't
Earth
get me
Day.
a gift?
I did not get you an Earth Day
card.
card.
You have to come visit me at the Dogwood Arts booth.
All right.
But yeah, so we're making this really, really cool, sustainable photo booth, and then we'll also have information about our all-electric buses.
Yeah.
And, it's just going to be a really good time. And then I'm also excited to see all of the artists that they're bringing in. I haven't been to the Dogwood Arts Festival since before my kids were born, so we're actually going to probably bring them Saturday morning, and I'm very excited for them to get to see it too.
I'm trying to figure out if I'm sure I have been to the Dogwood Arts Festival back when they had a parade down Gay Street.
Oh, see, I didn't even know about that.
Oh, yeah, they had balloons. They had one year they brought in an Underdog Balloon that made my life. I was so happy. One year Mary...
It made your whole life?
Well, when I was a kid, I loved the Underdog Balloon in the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade. So they had like an imitation of it in the Dogwood Parade. I'm like, oh my gosh.
Aww.
And Mary Costa was the voice. Grand Marshal that year. So it was a big, it was exciting.
Yeah.
And there were, I think, snow flurries on top of everything else during the parade. But when I was working in radio, we were always involved with the Rossini Festival, which is not part of the Dogwood Arts Festival, but always interrupts it. It's like one weekend of April is the Rossini Festival because it's a heritage festival, and then Dogwood Arts has to carve out around it. We have to do the sidewalk here, and we have to do the
Well, they're different weekends this year because Rossini's coming up April 30th.
Right,
so it's this weekend Dogwood Arts, and then next weekend is Rossini.
And I'm saying in past years, Rossini has been even earlier in April, in the mid-April, like April 14th or so. But the reason I know Rossini this year is Kathryn Frady will be singing.
Oh,
and
yay!
She gets back. She's driving back from Florida, I think that morning, straight to the stage at the Rossini Festival.
Oh my goodness. Just chug all the 5-hour energy skating.
She's got a 4 p.m. Show at this stage that'll be over by where Petros is and Cafe 4.
Yeah.
They're putting up a stage in Market Square there.
Very cool.
And Kathryn will be on that stage at 4 p.m. But that's till April 30th. This coming weekend, where's your booth going to be?
I'm still figuring that out. So I have a community outreach coordinator who coordinates all of that.
Good.
So she knows. And so I'll get that information.
Well, I didn't really leave a ton of time in my schedule for the Dogwood Arts because on Saturday I'm having a meeting with some guys who are making a movie in the Knoxville Film Festival.
Oh, very fun.
And I said, what are we going to talk about? I said, well, it's really more of a photo shoot. What are your clothing sizes? I said, okay. Well, I said, in a word, embarrassing.
Oh, don't say that.
But I sent them my sizes, and they're going out to buy this costume, or these pieces of a costume. Oh. And apparently, the bit is that when I see them on Saturday, we're doing this photo shoot of me in the costume, because next month, when they film the show, there's going to be posters of me on the wall in these poses. So this is pre-production.
So are you...
I'm acting in this movie.
Well, yes, I get
Which they haven't finished the script.
But
because it's a film festival, you have to do it you can't start on it. You start it on a certain day, and you've got 3 months to finish it.
Oh, okay.
And it's a competition. It's a 10 film competition. Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
With only 10 directors are allowed to apply, get chosen to do this.
Yeah, there's a whole process.
Yeah, whatever it is. There's 10 movies being made. They'll be about 20 minutes each. They'll be shown in a block at the Knoxville Film Festival.
But clearly your character plays some other type of character, which is why there's going to be posters of you on the wall.
Which is also...
Right?
Right.
What did I say?
Why would there be posters?
Is this a radio moment?
Why would there be actual posters of me? That's a very good point. And also, I don't own any of the pieces. They sent me this safari outfit, pictures of this safari outfit, and said, "Do you own anything like this?" I said, "No, I do not have any safari clothes."
You've never been on safari?
I've not been on safari. So, without giving any more away, let's just say that on Saturday, I'm going to be putting on this safari costume.
You're going to be putting on the Ritz?
And posing for pictures like an adventurer, inviting you to come to the place in the movie.
That you don't actually know what it is yet because you haven't seen the script?
I have an idea, but I don't want to spoil it yet.
Yes, no spoilers.
And then, so anyway, so inviting you to come to this magical place, if you will. And then the movie takes place at the magical place. And of course, this poster's of me, welcome.
So have you just been walking around the house, just like randomly, just like...
I only just found out everything I just told you. I found out last night.
Oh, so you're just practicing right now for
yes,
that?
I'm
Okay.
practicing
Well,
right
you're
now.
doing really great.
In fact, I might even help them with the script a little bit this weekend. We'll see how that goes. Well, I have so much to tell you, including the thing I saw at church on Easter that was spectacularly unbelievable that I have to share with you. And I may also, if there's time, I have to tell you about a radio anomaly that I freaked me out, and you as a radio person would understand why it would freak me out.
Is it like the radio dream type freak out?
Well, I mean, there was dead air involved, and then there was cussing. Well, let me tell you all about that after I tell you about the Middleburg Barn at Fox Chase Farm.
Oh, yes.
My friend Maureen in Northern Virginia has this beautiful wedding venue, event venue. You can use it for anything, corporate, meetings or fundraisers. A lot of fundraisers happen up there in the Hunt country of Northern Virginia.
Okay.
So it's 40 miles west of Washington, D.C.
Okay.
It's the neighborhood where JFK and Jackie used to go for the weekend.
Oh, well.
And they would go to church. In fact, there's a plaque on the pew. JFK sat here November, whatever the last Sunday is before he died. That's sad.
Yeah.
But that's where they would go on the weekends and hang out with the rich people. Well,
what's that like?
Well, it's fun, actually. It's beautiful. It's nice.
Yeah, I've seen the pictures, and it's stunning.
Yeah, and the barn is only 5 years old, but you would think it's older because they built it without nails, using the ancient techniques of mortise and tenon, where it's like...
they fit.
It's not exactly tongue and groove. It's more specific than that. It's like, but yes, it's very strong construction, like the barns that are 200 and 300 years old. Same style, so this one should last for also 200 and 300 years. But she's got the Swarovski crystals and the HVAC system with the ultraviolet rays.
Oh, yeah, good.
She's got the doors that open wide open to look at the Blue Ridge Mountains on the one side, which of course is the Appalachian Mountains. They just call it Blue Ridge in that part of the country.
Yes.
And you can put. I think you could put theoretically up to 400 people in this place if you wanted.
Oh, wow.
Some people do 100, 200, whatever, and you get the facility for the whole day. So when you rent it, you get it from noon to midnight. They don't double book.
Oh, that's nice.
There's a cottage on that you could rent and stay in the cottage if you wanted, or use it as the bride's room. There's so much you can do, and it's also, in addition to having this beautiful venue, it's on a working horse farm where these people keep their jumpy horses.
They're jumpy horses.
I don't know how else to describe
Are they
it.
show horses? Do they actually compete?
Yeah, they have horse shows, but it's not like running around in circles. It's running around in circles, but jumping over things.
Yeah, they have all of the different...
Steeplechase?
Yeah, they have the different elements to it.
Yeah. That's the kind of horsing they have up there.
Okay.
Horsing around. That's what they do. It's like they used to hunt foxes in that area. That's why it's called Fox Chase Farm, and it's called Hunt Country. And now they, do Olympic horsing. Like that kind of... That, where you wear the fancy hat and the tight suit, and you pretend you're the Princess of England, and you go boop, boop, boop.
I wouldn't want to, because they'd have to do side saddle, and that just never looked comfortable.
Oh no, I don't
to me.
think. I think in the one of the, we can Google this, but there was a princess who I think competed in the Olympics back in the 70s, 80s. I don't know, but she, they did it competitively.
That's
anyway,
pretty cool.
So Maureen will tell you more about it than I will. Call her. Don't ask me. Call 540-687-5255 or look online at themiddleburgbarn.com. All right, so. Well, I'll tell you the radio story first.
Okay.
But then we'll get to the kid with his hair on fire.
Okay. Whoa. The hair on fire has to do with the Easter service
what?
thing?
Yes.
Okay.
There's a lot to unpack.
That's a tease. Okay.
So the radio nightmare is I'm driving downtown. I'm headed to the UT campus. I'm driving down Middlebrook Pike because don't taking the interstate.
Yeah,
now, she works for the CAT bus, so I can tell her these specifics of exactly where I was. So I'm driving down past the News Sentinel building. Okay, so this is where Middlebrook Pike crosses under I-40.
Yep.
And I put on the station for which I work, 104.9, because I thought, well, I can listen to my friend JJ. He's on at this point. It's the afternoon. He's probably, I don't know what he's doing. He should have been playing a Beatles song, or maybe an Elton John song, or if I'm lucky, Donna Summer or Blondie. And I turn it on, and it's not coming in very clearly.
Oh.
And I'm hearing, it sounds like rap music to me at first, And I thought, well, that must be odd. It must be I'm thinking
something bleeding in.
I thought it was 104.5 bleeding in on 104.9. I thought maybe we're off the air. So I switch over to 104.5, and they're playing a different rap song than what I'm hearing on 104.9.
Okay.
And then as I get down Middlebrook Pike, it starts getting clearer and crisper to the point where it sounds like I'm in the studio. It is so clear.
Oh.
And I'm hearing,
but you're hearing
F this, S, S, F, F, S, S. And thinking,
and it's not bleeped?
Not at all bleeped. And I'm thinking, this is bad.
That's really bad.
This is really bad. So I call, I don't know what else to do. I call the owner of the station.
And what happened?
Well, who also happens to be an engineer.
Okay.
And I'm like, you're not going to believe this, but I said, I'm hearing uncensored rap music. And so he goes and turns on his radio. And is trying to figure out what's happening, and then after a little while, I turn onto Western Avenue, and I start driving downtown, and here come the Beatles come fading back in, like the Beatles song that was supposed to be on, and then there's and I hear J.J. Jeffries talking over the intro to the song, and my boss calls me back and says, "Look, I only heard us, but here's my theory. I think since what you're describing." It came in that loud and that clear and for a limited amount of time, and it was uncensored. He says, I think that somebody might have been driving near you who has their music on, maybe on their phone or something, right?
Okay.
And to put it over their car's stereo system, you have one of these little, and used to have one of these little mini transmitters.
Okay.
And you just push it up and you pick a number. Like, let's say this person obviously picked 104.9 and had their music from their phone broadcasting on 104.9 through this little mini transmitter so that they could listen to it on their car stereo system loud.
Yeah, I used to have one of those
Okay. So that's
years ago.
So that's the guy, as did I. And that's what my boss says, would that make sense? And I'm thinking, well, I mean, I guess it's possible.
Yeah, but I've never heard of that bleeding into somebody else's car. Especially not that clear, because those things never work that perfectly clear in your own car.
Well, this guy had the best ever because it worked that clear.
That's insane.
I know.
And heart attack inducing.
I know.
Because you're talking about like FCC violations and just all kinds of crazy stuff. Like that's
also,
fireable offense type stuff.
My worry was that I was worried, of course, that somehow somebody had hacked into the computer and played the wrong song, which didn't happen. And then I also was just worried that they changed formats and didn't tell me.
Aww. That's what years of working in radio does.
I think I may have already told this story on the thing, but they called us all in for a meeting on Valentine's Day because the owners were going to be in town. Mm-hmm. And we met at Twin Peaks. So
I love that place.
Do you?
I had my baby shower at that place.
Okay. Well,
any sports fan loves that bar.
I went to lunch on Valentine's Day at Twin Peaks, and it was the saddest group of single men in the room you've ever seen. No men, no ladies, except for the staff.
I don't think I've ever been there on Valentine's Day.
Yeah, no, you don't want to go. So, but I come in and I'm because the boss has been traveling. You know, he's coming into town for this. He doesn't live.
Yeah.
He just moved to California. Actually, there's two bosses. One who lives in Knoxville, and the one who manages my station that just moved to California so he can do more
Which is
stuff.
opposite because everybody's moving here from California.
He was in England. Anyway. To him, it's better. But the music logs weren't loaded for the next day, and I'm like, oh no, they're called us into a meeting, and there's no music logs. The music logs run out at midnight tonight, and now we're all gonna. So the first thing I said is, are we still working here? And it also happened to be the 364th day of my employment at the station. So the next day, February 15th, is my 1-year anniversary, and there's no music loaded, and we've been called into a meeting with the bosses.
Yeah, that's a lot.
And they're telling them all this, and they're young guys. They're in their 30s. And they're looking at me like, what are you talking about? I said, let me try to explain the anxiety inducement that a radio veteran would feel being called to a meeting with the boss on a day that, 1 day before your 1-year anniversary, and there's no music on the system after midnight tonight. Yeah. Oh, there isn't? I could have sworn I loaded it. Let me check. And he pulls it up on his phone. Okay, it's loaded now. Okay, fine. I'll be quiet.
Well, I mean, obviously you're still working there.
Yes,
everything's fine. But I understand that having worked in radio, and there are these moments that like to just create anxiety because that's the way the industry operates, and they're going to let somebody go.
Yeah.
That these types of things are usually a coincidence.
Nobody got fired. In fact, what they ended up doing is, and this was just announced in the trades the other day, is we also have this station at 106.1, which plays hard rock, like Metallica music.
Okay.
They bought, well, I don't know, I guess they bought another AM station with an FM translator somewhere so they can expand. They're, instead of,
they're growing. That's great.
Yeah. So they're buying this little, they buy up these little small stations and,
maybe you'll go national. They'll put you on different stations.
I highly doubt it. But anyway, that was part of the announcement, was that they're growing the company rather than firing anybody. So
that's exciting.
It was exciting.
Not what you're used to hearing, but it's great.
And then the other station we have is their studios are in the Sun Sphere.
Oh, yes. So, I finally got to the Sun Sphere after living here for 8 years, and it was lovely.
The other one they have is this 1950s themed station, 50s and 60s music.
Oh, so like Beach Boys and...
stuff I've never heard of in my life. Oh. But yes, they'll play some Beach Boys, but a lot of Chuck Berry.
That's about all I know of the 50s is...
Well, they were 60s. They were 60s. But I mean, like these old songs, old country songs I've never heard of, old rock songs, what you might have actually heard. And the owner I talked about, the one who lives here, he and his dad go in every morning and do a 2-hour morning show, playing actual vinyl records from Dad's collection.
What an amazing opportunity to get to spend that kind of one-on-one time with your parent.
I know. Anyway, in the Sun Sphere. So they sit up in the Sun Sphere at 8 o'clock every morning playing records.
Watching the sun come down.
And
that's actually
I know.
wonderful.
And then when they do is they record the record into the computer while it's playing.
Do they ever air like family drama?
I don't think so. I don't think they acknowledge on the air that they're related.
Oh.
Yeah. Okay. Because the dad is an old-timey radio DJ, so he's Roger Morgan. And then Aaron Ishmael uses his real name. Roger, I'm Roger. Well, the other thing I got to tell you before...
Yeah, Hair on Fire.
Okay, oh yes, I saved the best for last.
Hair on Fire.
Hair on Fire.
Which sounds like a name of a song or an album.
It probably is. It probably is. So this past weekend was Easter.
Yep.
And by the way, to my Orthodox friends who today would be their Holy Thursday, tomorrow's their Good Friday, and this Sunday is their Easter.
Yep.
So it's my friend Jim out in Oak Ridge. He goes to an Orthodox church.
Hi, Jim.
And Frank and Mary, another couple, they do that. Well, anyway, I'm at the cathedral, the Catholic Cathedral, for the Easter Vigil, which is, or actually all 3 nights of the Easter Triduum. So that's Holy Thursday, Good Friday, and Holy Saturday. It's a 3-part Mass. It's one event, takes 3 nights to complete it.
Yep.
And the amazing part of Easter Vigil is you start with the church in darkness, right?
Yeah.
And we actually have to leave. They say, everyone step outside for the blessing of the new fire. And they have a little bonfire going. Okay. And they got the big Easter candle, and they light the Easter candle. And then from the Easter candle, the bishop will light his, and he gives it to somebody else, and somebody else, and somebody else. He'll give it to as many people as are standing close by, and it spreads out and spreads out. And we process into the church, and we've all got this candle, and we keep it lit for quite some time during this vigil, in this early part of the ceremony. And I was joking, I was saying about my friend Father Reagan years ago was in charge of carrying the Easter candle, and he didn't hold it straight, and the hot wax is dripping on his head, burning his head. So, and I have a picture of him. It looks like bird dew with this hot wax coming down the side of his head. Because of course, me. Hey, Red, wait, let me get a picture of that.
In the middle of the service, let me pull out my phone.
So now we have our candles, and they have these little paper rings around them, and even the wax occasionally will drip through and get you in the hand.
Yeah.
We're all back in our seats, and the proceeding. They're singing this thing called the Exultat that's going on, and
it's quite the production.
Yeah, and I get my attention is drawn to 4 rows in front of me. All right, I'm sitting there and I'm watching what's going on.
Yeah.
And then actually 3 rows in front of me, there's this dad and his girls and his family, and he is all of a sudden like doing something. He's leaning forward to the pew 4 rows in front of me.
Okay.
And I look, and there's smoke, lots of smoke, and so this teenage kid. I don't know if he was tired. I don't know if he was just one of those guys who just like always hangs his head, and with the long kind of long-ish hair.
Yeah, kind of like mine. It hangs forward.
But like a little bit over the face, And in fact, multiple times during the now that I'm paying attention to him, multiple times later during the service, he'd have to do this to whip his hair back out of his face. Well, whatever it was, he wasn't paying attention, and he either held his head too low or held the candle too high, or a combination thereof. But he lit his hair on fire.
Oh my gosh. That's not the way you want to get a haircut.
So Hero Dad from the pew behind is reaching over, and then meanwhile the kid's actual dad.
And so it looks like he's like hitting the teenager.
Yeah, there he is. He's smacking him in the head. They're all smacking him in the head. And then the actual dad, I mean, you know, they're smacking his head and holding their hand on it because the part that's on fire is right in this area.
Yeah, they're trying to keep it from the face.
And they did, but I mean, but there's this puff of smoke, of burning hair, and the kid now, you can see he's freaked because he's got a bit of a, I think he kept touching like this area.
Yeah.
Because it must have burned. And it looked like, I guess there must have been a smudge or something, because I thought, oh, this kid's here for Ash Wednesday. Because...
Stop.
But there was a smudge on his forehead, and his mom is, trying to wipe it off, and he's just freaked. He's wide awake now.
But you still noticed later in the ceremony he still started nodding off again.
Well, I noticed
that wasn't exciting enough for him.
I noticed he was whipping that. It's a 3-hour service. It goes from sundown at 8:15. Actually, they finished it. Deacon Walt told me he checked it. He says, "Oh man, I feel good. I got that one done in 2 hours and 50 minutes." He was trying to bring it in under 3 hours. Because they had to do 4 baptisms and 30 confirmations. These are people who are converting to Catholicism.
Yeah.
And it's a big crowd. Plus the actual service itself, even without any baptisms and confirmations, would easily
You should go run the Oscars and actually get them to finally...
be 2 hours, yeah.
Narrow that
well,
down.
Deacon Walt was in charge he was the master of ceremonies for the event. And it also happened to be his birthday. So he wanted to get home.
He had some celebrating to do.
So that was the story of the actual true story of this past Easter and this kid with the hair on fire. So I don't know who you are, kid, and I don't know who the two dads are, the one with his girls behind you, or I assume your actual dad who just, smacked that fire out.
Oh my God. And these families will pass this story down for generations. You know that.
Yes. It was worth it.
At least he wasn't seriously injured. That's like the best takeaway. And then also just the way you pictured him, like just flipping it back, I can just like visualize like fire, like and smoke, just screaming. And
I'm just gonna guess that maybe he's gonna shampoo more frequently from now on.
How much do you want to bet that his mother sat there and was like, "I told you shouldn't have long hair"?
And
Because I can just imagine my grandma, who's Catholic, just going like, "I told you that long hair was no good."
Well, he didn't even leave the pew. He never left the pew and this was relatively the beginning of the service, within the first half hour, and he stayed for the entire thing. And then, so even when they leave to go up for communion, I'm looking at him, and he comes right back. I'm like, "You don't want to go to the bathroom or anything, or check with him?" Nope. It was so. I would be mortified if it were me.
Did that many people notice, or was it just like the little grouping around that even saw that it happened? I
think it was just the little grouping around, because the reaction was so quick.
Yeah.
But so I'm looking up and to see if anybody, the priests, are noticing, or if anybody's
not
running over with a fire extinguisher. Because everybody's there,
Yeah. I'm imagining there's at least a couple hundred people there.
Yeah. Probably 1,000.
Oh shoot.
And
I said shoot.
But all of the facilities manager, everyone who works at the facility, they're all involved in the mass somehow. They're all up there, maybe wearing a surplice and a cassock.
They're busy doing their official business. So,
yeah.
They didn't.
But if that's the guys who would have rushed in with the fire extinguisher didn't seem to notice.
Yeah.
Because believe me, if Scott or
thank goodness it didn't get to the point where that was needed.
Yes.
At the end of the day, everyone's okay. We can make light of it right now.
Oh yeah, we would have been. The Holy Water Brigade would have been trying to find some way to.
That would have made a great ending to that story, though. And then they put him out with the holy water.
We dragged him over to the baptismal font. Well, Becca.
Trial by fire.
I appreciate you coming over, and thanks so much. It's always a joy to have you. I hope we can have you again, because Frady is not going to be back till the beginning of May, but then she's going out of town again over the summer to do something over in Myrtle Beach or somewhere like that.
Just doing big things. Beach locations.
She's not. She's no fool. So she's doing a couple operas over there at Coastal Carolina in July.
Yeah, happy to come back.
We'd love to have you fill in again. That'd be lovely. All right.
I love being here. Thank you.
Meanwhile, if you do love audio entertainment like this and you want to check it out, please go to audibletrial.com/FrankandFriendsShow, where you get a free 30-day trial. And during that first 30 days, you get a credit like you would every other month when you're a member, but you get a credit during that first 30 days for free. And that's an MP3 that you can download and keep forever on your devices, regardless of whether you continue the Audible trial or not. We, of course, think you will. They think you will. Why would they give you the... Why would they go to all this trouble if they didn't think you were going to continue? So all sorts of audio entertainment, not just audiobooks, thousands and thousands and thousands of them, but custom audio entertainment made just for the Audible platform, and podcasts like this one you can hear, and almost every podcast, as long as you are smart enough to submit your RSS feed, you're on Audible. And it's
Frank knows all the things, all the technologies.
And also will save your place. So if you're listening, if you don't want to listen to rap music in the car and you want to listen to your audiobook, and then you pause, and when you come home, you can pick it up on your Amazon Echo or on your Fire thingamajigs, Fire tablet or whatever. It doesn't matter. Whatever it is you have, whatever device you have the Audible app on, it saves your place and works across all the devices.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Oh, and don't forget to plug your socials.
Oh, absolutely. So that's audibletrial.com/FrankandFriendsShow. We do appreciate you going to our actual website at frankandfriendshow.com. And then if you want to get the merch at /store, that's an awesome thing. You can find us on Facebook and Instagram. Technically, we're on Twitter, but the Twitter handle is just so hard to say that you may as well just Google it. It's Frank Friends Shh. Because that's all the space.
And I can actually picture how that looks.
Oh, good. Did I do a good job?
You did do a good job. But it's the Frank and Friends Show on Facebook and on Instagram.
Yes.
And follow the YouTube channel.
Yeah, that's the main thing is we do need you to subscribe, like, and share, and hit the button for notifications so that you can catch all of our latest episodes. Yeah. All right, Becca James, thanks for being a friend of the Frank and Friends Show. Anything else before you go?
No. Again, come to the Dogwood Arts Show this weekend. Okay,
because actually we're taping this 3 hours earlier than usual for me so that you can go to your actual day job.
Yes.
You're a sweetheart. This is the Frank and Friends Show. I'm Frank Murphy.
I'm Becca James.
And we'll talk to you again next time.